What's up, everybody? It's your favorite bunny rabbit's favorite nerd. Today we are looking at the NewAge Cyclonus. On course, it's on loan to me from Robert D. Of course, we're going to look at all of the alt modes and transformations and articulations. But of course, we're going to start with accessories. Fun fact before we get started, the figure itself had a little QC pass sticker on it that you may remember from Fans Toys, but this certainly isn't a Fans Toys. It's what we call the old bait and switch. You ever done that? Say when you were hosting a party?
What'll it be, guys? A nice $60 red work for everybody?
$60 red. They couldn't even be bothered to bring a side.
Here you go. You're gonna love this.
You get an extra set of posing hands, which is nice to have. They just peg right in. You get a silver gun. It's sculpted nicely with the nice metallic blue paint on it. He will hold it, but it is a bit of a tight fit. I would use extreme caution. He also comes with like a purple, almost rifle, and a lot of hollow bits, which isn't the best looking sculpt-wise, but is okay, I suppose. I know it's not hollow in the same sense that, like, you know, a deluxe is hollow, but it's still, it's off-putting, to be honest. And then the kind of paint on top, which looks good. And he'll hold that as well. However, the back of the gun kind of butts up against the wrist, so be mindful of that as well. With the purple one, you can also kind of store it underneath the vehicle mode by pegging it back into the hand, basically. The silver one doesn't really work because of the side wings. So let's take a look at vehicle mode. And I think it looks pretty good. The hands are a little bit of a bummer, right? Just because of how clean it is. The fact that you can see the hands, it does stand out like a sore thumb. And it's kind of the same on the other side of it as well. But the deco looks beautiful. And the, that's not pegged in properly. And the sculpt work comes through nicely as well. There's also some kind of details in the translucent plastic there that I think works. And you're going to hear me talk about this a great bit, but just the difference between metallic paint and then this glossy paint and translucent plastic, like just everything working in concert, it really does a nice job deco-wise. I can't harp on that quite enough. It's brilliant in that regard. Let's see what it looks like next to our boy. Tiger tracks. You can't really see that, can you? But they're about the same length anyway. So, nice little unit. All right, let's get it transformed. I should be able to do this in one take, I think. Let's try. So we'll untab the feet, and we'll untab the hands, and we'll untab the arms. Feet, hands, arms. All right. Then you can bring you basically combine or where's the legs, so you can bring those elements down, and you can bend at the waist, which will allow these two pieces to become free. And once they come around, you can take these purple bits, fold them back onto themselves, and then collapse all of this back down. I forgot one part to show you on the transformation. When you go to close the leg, make sure to flip out this little panel here, and that will allow you to kind of have that aesthetic and fill in the proper space. I'm just trying to do it one-handed because I got my camera in the other hand because I just figured it out. I just saw it as I was editing that I made the mistake and fixed it, but didn't show you guys. So just make sure that you have this panel flipped out. It is in alt mode flipped in, and then when you go to transform it, flip it out and then collapse. Peg, rock the feet a little bit forward. They slide actually. And then flip your toes out. Then these hip skirts will probably collapse a bit. You can use these drop down joints. These will technically count as articulation, but you'll see you don't really need them. All right, and then we're going to swivel at the flank here, peg back in, and then swivel at the shoulder, and then flip the hand down and the forearm out, and then collapse once, collapse twice. And then you can sort all of this. The wing here rotates, so there's a lot of bits that spin, which can be a little obnoxious. Just sort it out. Same for the other side. We're going to spin, peg it in, spin, flip it out. We're gonna rotate at our bicep swivel. We're gonna rotate the wing around, and then we're gonna rotate the hand. Collapse wing 1, collapse wing 2. All right. Next step, backpack. So we'll unpeg this, spin the head around, flip the ears out. Take this. This is the landing gear. You don't really technically need it out all the time. I don't think I showed that. So flip this in, flip the needle nose in, flip all of this in till it's nice and compact. Spin it around 180. Drop this joint down. I'm sorry.
Is it time to go?
No, baby, not yet. And then collapse all that together into the backpack, and then fold that around. You got, baby, you got about 15 minutes. And there you have them. I'll clean them up. We'll take a look at them. So let's take a look at the figure. We'll get in tight. Face sculpt is pretty sharp. I would say that there is, I'm being nitpicky. I'm in a nitpicky mood these days. The eyes are too big. They're a little too big. Throws the face off a bit for me. Otherwise, paint, deco, absolutely, absolutely stunning. It is beautiful. Articulation-wise, the head is on a little ball peg. It's a little bit loose too, to be fair. You get up to there, nothing really down. Swivel, confused Cyclonus look. Shoulders. Universals, they meet at the base of the chest, get you out to pretty much 90 degrees. Then there's an additional hinge in the shoulder joint, which gets the arm beyond 90 degrees. And it swivels around. Let me back the camera out just a little bit. Deco remains stunning. This metallic purple, and then this like flat pink, the metallics here, fantastic. All right, so we have a bicep swivel. Oh, there it is. Let me see, there it is. This one moves. This one's too tight. Huh. So it is there. Double jointed elbow for the full range. We have the metallic pink and purple once again that looks beautiful in person. Just can't say enough about it. And then you have a hinge for the hand, the wrist up and down, and then a swivel as well. No complaints. For the chest, this one's the same, by the way. For the chest, we have the metallic purple, we have the translucent, and we have some metallic kind of silver in there. Looks fantastic. Waist swivel, ab crunch to pretty much 90 degrees. Can't say much more about that. And then you have hip skirts on this metallic painted pelvis. Get up and out of the way for the full Van Damme on T-jointed ball joints. And the full Monty. Thigh swivel. Some nice sculpt work in the thighs. No paint on the thighs, but that's okay. In fact, like, this is a good like little kind of like training on this. So we have translucent plastic, we have metallic paint, we have glossy paint, and we have flat plastic. And all of them work together to kind of make something to look dynamic. Sometimes things can look too metallic, too pearlescent, too glossy, etc. This is really a fantastic deco on this guy. And the proportions are just on the money. Like, I don't know. I need to do a master class or something in this to get people to understand. But like, look at the thighs to lower legs, and then the legs to the upper body. It just makes it look more dynamic. It makes it look more like adult and heroic. Whereas the kind of like squatted proportions, you know, from the thighs and then the upper body, it's makes it look childish. Not childish in the sense of like a childish toy. It just makes the character itself look like a child. All right. Thigh swivel, we talked about that already, right? Single hinge knee. I did find that a bit surprising, but that's what it is. And then we get a toe tilt down, nothing really up, and an ankle rocker. Once again, metallic paint down in the lower body, and there he is from the back. Pretty fantastic. For the sake of tradition, size comparison wise, there he is with the old school Iron Factory Scale Blaster, as well as the Hasbro Stunnicon. There he is with Magic Squares Prime, as well as Iron Factory's Tarn. And there he is with NewAge Prime and NewAge Megatron. And I'm not sure if that's right. It doesn't seem right to me. But I know sometimes the scaling can be wonky. But just to give you an idea, it's a large figure for a Legends class figure. In fact, it's basically the same size as a current deluxe. And I mean, that says something. It's actually a little bit taller, ever so slightly. Final thoughts wise, we'll start with the negatives. The head, build wise, kind of sucks. The face and the helmet kind of grasp the ball peg, but it's not sculpted appropriately to kind of house the ball peg. So as you manipulate it, it gets loose, like you saw in the video, and then eventually will fall apart, and then you just got to put it back together. Not the biggest deal in the world, but it's not right. I don't think that the tolerance in the hands to hold the weapons accounts for the paint, and it doesn't account for the bump out on the rifle either. The one bicep joint was way too tight, scary tight. Also for the negatives, I think I should say that the eyes are a little big, at least to me. That's subjective, of course, but it's how I feel. And seeing all the hands in alt mode from all sides is a little unsightly. Positives wise, the articulation is fantastic. The paint and deco overall is absolutely stunning. The materials feel great. The proportions and sculpt are right on the money. I love the swap out hands. He comes with the appropriate weapons. There's just a ton of character that comes through in this between the paint and the sculpt and the articulation. It's like you can't hold it back. It just wants to get out. The engineering to alt mode is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's intuitive, rewarding, and just interesting enough to kind of keep your attention. And with the exception of the hands, I think the alt mode looks pretty good. So all in all, it is definitely a recommend for me, a pretty fantastic figure, to be quite honest. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.